Welcome, children of class 7. Now we are studying chemistry, chapter 4, atomic structure. And, children, this is the third part of this chapter which we are discussing, and we are starting from chemical formulae of elements. As we all have studied earlier, that a molecule is the smallest particle of an element or a compound which has independent existence. Just as a symbol represents one atom, the chemical formula represents one molecule of an element or a compound. For representation of chemical formula, we are concerned only with the number of atoms present in a molecule. For example, one molecule of hydrogen element contains two atoms of hydrogen. So the formula of hydrogen is H2. The 2 in the formula indicates that one molecule of hydrogen element contains two atoms of hydrogen. The chemical formula of an element is the formula that shows the actual number of atoms in one molecule of the element. Say for example, children, if only O is written, O means one atom of oxygen and O2 means one molecule of oxygen, and 2O2 means two molecules of oxygen, and 2O means only two atoms of oxygen. And if you write O3, children, O3 is the formula of ozone, so it represents one molecule of ozone. So children, if you see over here, list of some molecular formula of some common elements are given. Hydrogen, and its formula is H2, and since two atoms of hydrogen combines to make one molecule of an hydrogen, so its atomicity is 2. 2 indicates the number of atoms in one molecule of an element. Helium is He, and it is only one atom, so its atomicity is 1. Oxygen is O2, so its atomicity is 2. Sulfur is S8, so its atomicity is 8. Phosphorus P4, its atomicity is 4. Nitrogen N2, atomicity 2. Bromine Br2, atomicity 2. Chlorine Cl2, atomicity 2. Now children, we are going to learn some chemical formulae of compounds. Now, the chemical formula or the molecular formula of a compound is the actual number of atoms of different elements present in a molecule of a compound. So, children, a compound is made up of two or more than two elements of different kind. So, the molecular formula of a compound is the actual number of atoms of different elements present in molecule of a compound. For example, water is a compound whose molecule contains two atoms of hydrogen and one atom of oxygen. So the formula of water is H2O. In this, symbol H2 indicates two atoms of hydrogen and O represents one atom of oxygen. The number in front of a formula shows the number of molecules. For example, if we write 2H2O, then it means two molecules of water. Similarly, one molecule of H2 and one molecule of chlorine make two molecules of HCl. If we combine hydrogen H2 and chlorine, it is going to make 2HCl, that is two molecules of hydrochloric acid or HCl. Now children, we have some formula of some common compounds. Say for carbon dioxide formula, children, is CO2, and it is made up of carbon and oxygen, and the number of carbon atoms in carbon dioxide is 1 and of oxygen is 2. Then the next is ammonia. Ammonia is, children, NH3. NH3, in NH3 there is one atom of nitrogen and three atoms of hydrogen. If you talk about sulfuric acid, then the formula is H2SO4, which means it contains hydrogen, sulfur and oxygen, and it contains two atoms of hydrogen, one atom of sulfur and four atoms of oxygen. Now children, will come to some names of some common compound like carbon monoxide. So the formula is CO. It is made up of one atom of carbon and one atom of oxygen. If we talk about carbon dioxide, then the formula is CO2. That means it is made up of one atom of carbon and two atoms of oxygen. Sulfur dioxide, SO2. So it is made up of one atom of sulfur and two atoms of oxygen. Sulfur trioxide, it is SO3. That means it is made up of one atom of sulfur and three atoms of oxygen. Then carbon tetrachloride CCl4. It is made up of one atom of carbon and four atoms of chlorine. Phosphorus pentaoxide P2O5. It is made up of two atoms of phosphorus and five atoms of oxygen. Then children, ammonia. Ammonia is NH3, which is made up of one atom of nitrogen and three atoms of hydrogen. Hydrogen peroxide H2O2. It is made up of two atoms of hydrogen and two atoms of oxygen. Hydrochloric acid HCl. It is made up of one atom of hydrogen and one atom of chlorine. Then nitric acid HNO3. It is made up of three elements, one atom of hydrogen, one atom of nitrogen and three atoms of oxygen. Then sulfuric acid H2SO4. It is made up of three elements, hydrogen, sulfur and oxygen, two atoms of hydrogen, one atom of sulfur and four atoms of oxygen. Then phosphorus pentachloride PCl5. It is made up of two elements, phosphorus and chlorine. It is made up of one atom of phosphorus and five atoms of chlorine. Now children, there is a little bit of skill fill or exercise which we have to do. First exercise over here is, which of the following is monoatomic element among the following? So among the following, children, if you see over here, monoatomic means an element made up of only one atom. So it is Ag. Ag is silver. So this is the answer to it. Then which of the one has five atoms in a molecule? So it is methane, CH4. CH4 means one atom of carbon and four atoms of hydrogen. That makes total five atoms. Name any diatomic gas shown above. So in this, if you see, the gas given as diatomic with two atoms is N2. So nitrogen, N2 is the answer. Then it is asking for any polyatomic molecule. Polyatomic molecule, children, over here is sulfur. So sulfur is polyatomic, having more than, and even sulfur, and you can write phosphorus P4. So two answers can be given over here, P4 or sulfur for polyatomic. What is the formula of methane? The formula of methane is CH4. So children, this is regarding some exercise related to what we have done. Now the next topic is, children, radical. Radicals. So a radical is a positively or negatively charged component of a compound consisting of a single atom or group of atoms. So a chemical compound is made up of two radicals, a positive radical and a negative radical. So we can say a radical is an atom or group of atoms having a positive or a negative charge. Or the other definition is, a radical is a positively or negatively charged components of a compound consisting of a single atom or groups of atom. Then we come to some formulas of some radical. Now children, whenever we write chloride, chloride is written as Cl minus. So the sign given over it is minus. Minus means, children, minus 1. So it is only minus, then it means 1. 1 we don't write. Then bromide, bromide is written as Br minus. Iodide, iodide is for iodine. So iodide is written as I minus. Fluoride, F minus. Then oxide, oxide is O, that is the formula, 2 minus. So the charge over there is 2 minus. And sulfate, sulfate is SO4, 2 minus. Then carbonate, carbonate is CO3 minus 2. So sulfate is SO4 minus 2 and carbonate is CO3 minus. So children, if you have a single atom in a radical, it is called as simple radical, and if you have more than two elements in a radical, it will be called as complex radical. Now children, the next term we are going to study is valency. It is very important. So valency is the number of electrons an atom can donate or accept. Valency is always a whole number. So children, when these atoms combine together, what they do, they either give their electron to another atom, or atom takes electron from another atom, or they share electrons. So children, accordingly, the valency is defined as the number of electrons an atom can donate, accept, or even share. So valency is a whole number. Say for example, children, valency is a measure of the combination capacity of an element. Generally, valency of elements ranges from 0 to 4. So elements with valency 1 are known as monovalent, like sodium, potassium, lithium, rubidium. Even children, when we talk about chlorine, chloride, chlorine that has valency 1, bromine has valency 1, and elements with valency 2 are known as divalent. For example, copper has valency 2, zinc, magnesium, calcium. Then elements with valency 3 are known as trivalent. For example, iron is having a valency of 3 also. So, and aluminium is having a valency of 3. And elements with valency 4, they are known as tetravalent. For example, carbon and sulfur. So, children, when a neutral atom enters into a chemical reaction, it loses its neutral nature and becomes an ion because of loss or gain of electrons to become stable. If it loses electron, then it is called as cation. So if an atom loses electron, it will be called as a cation. So children, if we talk about a cation, we say that a cation is that which loses its electron, and when it loses its electron, children, it forms a positive charged ion. So this is regarding the positive valency. Now children, so children, here you see that sodium atom is losing one electron and it is becoming a sodium positive charge. So its electronic configuration is 2, 8 and 1. When it loses one electron, it becomes 2 and 8. So sodium has one electron more than noble gas configuration, and hence it loses one electron to form a cation with stable electronic configuration. If an atom loses one electron, it means that the atom has one electron less than the neutral atom, which implies an increase in positive charge. Due to the increase in positive charge, the atom is known as cation. So, sodium atom, after losing one electron, it becomes a sodium cation or a sodium positively charged. If you see its atomic number in atomic form is 11. In sodium cation form also it is 11, but it has 11 protons. Atom also has 11 protons, cation also has 11 protons, but sodium atom has 11 electrons, that is equal to the number of protons, but it has 10 electrons in sodium cation, that is the number of electron now is one less. So if it gains electron, then it is called as an anion. Anion is negatively charged. For example, if you see the example of chlorine, chlorine atom has 2, 8 and 7 electrons in their shell. So in order to get a stable configuration, it takes or it accepts one electron and it becomes a chloride ion. So in place of negatives, children, it should be positive over here, Cl plus 1 electron, then it would become chloride ion or a Cl minus ion. So chlorine atom has 1 electron less than noble gas configuration, hence it gains 1 electron to form an anion with stable electronic configuration. If an atom gains 1 electron, it means that the atom has 1 electron more than the neutral atom, which implies an increase in negative charge. Due to the increase in negative charge, the atom is known as anion. So children, if you see the example of chlorine atom after adding one electron becomes a chloride ion Cl minus. So chlorine in atomic form has electronic configuration of 2, 8 and 7, and chloride ion has an electronic configuration of 2, 8, 8. So its atomic number in both the cases is 17. Number of protons in both the cases is 17, but in atom state it has got 17 electrons, and in anions state it has got 18 electrons. So now children, will come to the examples of valency. Sodium atom shows its valency by 1 by losing 1 electron, and chlorine atom gaining 1 electron to achieve a gas of inert gas configuration. To achieve an inert gas configuration, when sodium and chlorine atom combines, the unipositive charge of sodium reacts with the uninegative charge of chloride ion to form a stable compound. So children, sodium atom after losing its electron becomes positive charge, and chlorine atom after gaining one electron becomes negative charge. This positive charge sodium and negative charge chlorine or chloride ion, they join together to form NaCl. NaCl is the compound formed by the combination of sodium and chlorine. Sodium atom give its one electron to chlorine atom, and so they get a positive charge and a negative charge, and they combine together. Similarly, children, magnesium atom loses two electrons and oxygen atom gains two electrons. When magnesium and oxygen atom combines, then the bi-positive charge of magnesium cancels the bi-negative charge of oxide ion. As a result of this, MgO compound is formed, which is neutral. So children, magnesium loses two electrons, oxygen gains two electron, magnesium form plus two charge, oxygen form minus two charge, and they combine together to form a compound called MgO. Similarly, children, one aluminum atom has got three positive charge, hence two aluminum ions will have 6 positive charge. An oxygen atom has 2 negative charge, hence 3 oxide ion will have 6 negative charge. So children, thus the molecule becomes stable only if the charge is neutral, and it can be brought only if 2 aluminum ion combines with 3 oxygen ion or oxide ion. So aluminum atom has a valency of plus 3 after losing electron, and oxygen atom after gaining 2 electron forms oxide ion with minus 2 valency. So children, 2 aluminum ion combines with 3 oxygen ion to form aluminum oxide with the formula Al2O3. Now children, this formula has become by the combination. Now the positive charge and the negative charge is balancing, because aluminum is having plus 6 charge and 3 oxide ion is having minus 6 charge, and 2 aluminum ion is having plus 6 charge. To balance each other, they combine in this ratio. Now children, we come to another topic, that is variable valency. Now if we talk about children variable valency, if any metallic element show more than one valency, then it is known as variable valency. It means that metallic element can lose electron from its inner orbits also. So it lose electron from the outer orbit as well as also from the second last orbit. About this you will study in higher class. But children, regarding the variable valency, iron Fe is having two valency, that is plus 2 and plus 3. Copper is having two valency, plus 1 and plus 2. So mercury is having two valency, plus 1 and plus 2. So these are the metals having the variable valency. In the same way children, carbon has two valencies of 2 and 4. Nitrogen has 5 valencies of 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So these are, now children, if you have a metal with two valency, then there is a way of naming them. For lower valency of metals, we add the suffix OUS. In use for the higher valency, we use IC. So for example, Fe is ferrum. So for Fe plus 2, we change it to ferrous, and if it is plus 3, the higher valency, we write ferric. So it has been changed to OUS and IN. Cu copper plus will be called as cuprous, and Cu plus 2, the higher valency, will be called as cupric. In the same way, Hg lower valency will be called as mercurous, and higher valency of plus 2 will be called as mercuric. Then you have lead with the higher valency, Pb4 plus will be called as plumbic, and Pb plus 2 will be called as plumbous. Then in the same way, Sn plus 2 will be called as stannous, and Sn plus 4 will be called as stannic. Now children, once we have learned this, we have to remember the valencies of all the positive and the negative radicals which we have. So here is a list of some positive radicals, and it is given like this. Children, you have to learn them by heart in order to write chemical formula. So positive radical with valency 1 are hydrogen plus 1, copper or cuprous plus 1, mercurous plus 1, sodium plus 1, potassium K plus, silver Ag plus, ammonium NH4 plus. Then positive radical with 2 valency is ferrous Fe plus 2, copper or cupric, that is Cu2 plus, then mercuric Hg plus 2, calcium 2 plus, zinc 2 plus, lead Pb 2 plus, magnesium and manganese both have Mg 2 plus and Mn 2 plus. Then with children with valency 3, we say that it is iron with 3 valency is called ferric. Then gold with 3 valency is Au plus 3, and aluminum with 3 valency. So these are the compounds with plus 1, plus 2, plus 3 valency. Now in the same way, children will write the negative radicals or the anions. Anions with minus 1 valencies are, children, valency, even if we don't write plus and minus, valency is written without a sign, but these are the negative radicals, so we are denoting them with a minus sign. So hydride, now hydride is H minus. Hydride or hydrogen shows plus valency also and negative valency. Hydroxide is OH minus 1, chloride Cl, bromide Br minus 1, iodide I minus 1, nitrite NO2 minus, nitrate NO3 minus, bicarbonate HCO3 minus, bisulfate HSO3 minus, bisulfate HSO4 minus, chlorate ClO3 minus, permanganate MnO4 minus. Then with 2 valency, oxide 2 minus, carbonate CO3 2 minus, sulfide S2 minus, sulfite SO3 2 minus, sulfate SO4 2 minus, dichromate Cr2 7 2 minus. Then with valency 3, we have nitrite 3 minus, phosphate 3 minus. So children, these are the positive and the negative valencies, and you have to write them separately, and you have to learn them also, otherwise you won't be able to write down the formulas. Now children, the very important part in chemistry is writing of chemical formulas of compound. So children, we have a method to write the chemical formulae, but before we write the chemical formulae, we have to learn the radicals along with their valencies. So what we have to do, write the symbol of positive radical to the left and the negative radical to the right side of a compound. So first thing we do is we write down the radicals with positive sign plus and negative first and negative sign second. Then we put the valency on top right side of both the radical. Then we write down their valencies and we ignore the positive and negative sign. So we leave the positive and negative sign and shift the valencies to the lower right side of the radical. As we are showing it in this example, children, we have to write down the formula of magnesium chloride. So first step we do is we write down magnesium and its valency is 2 plus, we write that, and then we write chloride, that is Cl minus. Then the second step, children, is we ignore the plus and minus sign. Then the one valency of chloride we shift to magnesium, and the 2 valency of magnesium we shift to chloride. So the formula becomes MgCl2. In the same way, children, for writing copper sulfate, we write copper Cu plus 2, SO4 minus 2. Now children, this 2 and 2 can cancel each other, so we cancel them, so they become Cu plus 1 and SO4 minus 1, because their valency can be cancelled. So we divide them by the highest common factor, and then we interchange their valency, and it will become, since it is 1, it will become CuSO4. So the valency will become CuSO4. So when same valencies come, then both the valencies get cancelled, like CuSO4, both 2's gets cancelled. Now children, this is regarding the writing up of. Now children, if you see this example, aluminum chloride. In aluminum chloride, children, aluminum is Al3 plus and chloride is Cl. So what we do, we interchange their valencies and it will become Al1 Cl3. One we don't write, so its formula will become AlCl3. In the same way, aluminum sulfate, aluminum is 3 plus, Al3 plus, sulfate is SO4 2. So we interchange their valencies, it will become Al2 and SO4 whole thrice. So children, since SO4 is a complex anion, So what we'll do, we'll put it in a bracket. In the same way, children, ammonium phosphate, ammonium is +1, phosphate is 3. So what we'll do, we'll interchange their valency and it will become NH4 3 whole thrice PO4. So children, this is regarding this. Now we come to what is the significance of writing these formulas. Now children, now the significance is that when we write a chemical formula, it represents the name of that substance. So the name of the substance comes by writing their formula. It represents one molecule of the substance. As we have discussed, if it is H2O, then it represents one molecule of that compound. Then it gives the name of the atoms of the element. So by writing the formula, we even come to know the different atoms of different elements which are present in one molecule of a substance. Then it also gives us the molecular mass expressed in grams. So children, if you add the atomic mass of all the elements, then it can also give you the relative molecular mass, which will be expressed in grams. Now children, calcium carbide, if you talk about calcium carbide, the valency of calcium is Ca plus 2 and carbide is C minus 4. Thus the formula become, if you interchange their valency, Ca4 C2, but 4 and 2 can cancel each other, so we'll divide it by 2, so it will become Ca2C, but it does not exist in nature as Ca2C but exists as CaC2. Thus the actual compound does not match with the theoretical formula. So children, many times you get such formula also. Now if you don't follow it, just leave it, but we have learned how to write formulas. Now children, this is the worksheet and I want you to write down all the names, all the chemical formula of the following compounds using the crisscross method. And in the last video, children, will be discussing the exercise of this chapter. Along with, we'll draw some atomic structures also, which is very important, which is this chapter we are talking about. So we'll learn how to make the atomic structures. So this chapter is completed, but now I'll be discussing the exercise of this chapter in the next video. Thank you, children.